Yeah, so as I was mentioning before, one of the masters of the fourth way, Gurdjieff, the guy there with like a crazy mustache uh, and intense gaze, was a mystic from the late 1800s and 1900s. He was saying that no work can be done in sleep. No spiritual work or healing or the programming work can be done in sleep. And he was referring what they were calling sleep. And this idea of sleep appears in many traditions, even Christian, mystical Christianity, Sufi. Yeah, that's a metaphor of the sleep or a prison. And sometimes they overlap them. Somehow it's like a maximum security prison. The highest maximum security prison is a prison where the inmates, they don't even know that they are in prison. You know, so that's the max, that's the ultimate, you know, and they think that like the matrix idea. So the sleep, which is they call it the normal state, and at school they don't teach us about this, and everybody is in this normal state, is a normal state which is characterized by two phenomena. And everybody is in it. The phenomenon is called imagination. But in this terminology, imagination is not a creative imagination or artistic imagination or project imagination. No, it's this state of daydreaming, like a constant, the day spent in, just like in the night we have dreams, in the day there's all the time this like movie thoughts, a voice in our head. Sometimes the voice can be neutral commentary, narration, or sometimes can be like with a bite, a little nasty commentary on others or a nasty commentary on myself. There's this voice in the head, can be evil, mean, vicious, or simply just we're going to do next, or past, or all the time. Somehow the present moment is filled with like they call it a Sufi veil of these daydreamings. So what people think about me, or if I'm stupid, or am I fat, or like, oh man, I'm going to pay rent, what's going to happen, and oh, they're doing this, the government, and so endless chatter where we are not there, basically, is like going about, you know, the street or whatever, driving. It's amazing there are no more accidents. So also this daydreaming is not just nice things. Actually, it's usually unpleasant things, you know, like painful stuff, difficult stuff, scary stuff. So we are suffering often with what's not happening, you know. In this state of sleep, there's also yeah, so that's the daydreaming. Part of our work actually is to diminish the time spent in daydreaming. And as soon as we catch ourselves in, even in the group, I mean, it's a great time in the group, like you're listening here, or you'll see, you'll check out. As soon as you realize you're somewhere else, you can drop those thoughts and come back to the here and now. The second manifestation of sleep, which is very hard to understand at the beginning because we are in it all the time, is that they call it identification. Identification, meaning that our awareness, which is in a setting of being unaware of itself, somehow, all of us, you guys are paying attention to me or to something now. There's awareness that is aware, but that awareness is not is unaware of itself and is focused completely on something. It's focused on Mihai, or identification is like, even this daydreaming is like the awareness being completely sucked into some movie of the future or the past. Or whenever we have a trigger, our awareness or presence is stuck into the feeling. And so, yeah, it's a state where we are unconscious of ourselves and totally glued to some phenomena or object, they call it. Either, like a cat with a mouth. The cat is like that out there. But the same thing we are with the thoughts, or the same thing we are with some aversion or craving or desire. There's a state of identification. Yeah, so this is some aspect of the sleep. So we are trying to kind of snap out of this, and it is a little hard. That's why they have this formal meditation, where for a few minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, that we are going to do now, it's like giving a special time for this, where instead of thinking or planning or doing, part of life is doingness, which is normal. So instead of doing that, we are stopping any of this planning and controlling or projects. And so we're just like a cat for like 10, 15, 20 minutes, be like an aware cat. And where we are witnessing or being present to the present moment.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I just had a thought when you were referring to how where even when awareness is focused like specifically on something that's present, but awareness at that moment might not be aware of itself, that it's so absorbed in the present moment. So how does that differ than like when we're in the flow state, where, because like in the flow state, I'll feel that like awareness is so focused on, the actual experience. But I never thought about like how then you can take it one step deeper to bring awareness aware of itself while being present.
Yeah. I mean, I know that it's considered to be cool and it's nice, this flow state, because definitely feels good.
Right.
And I guess there is less ego patterns of suffering happening, so it's much better.
Mm-hmm.
And usually the flow state, we are more in the moment. Right. We are surfing or hunting or playing tennis or something. Mm-hmm. And usually or climbing, and then there's no thoughts. So there's more like attention. I guess kids are in a flow state or playing. There's attention on the present moment, no commentary and all of that. So from one angle is more happier. Also the states of sleep, they have degrees. Mm-hmm. It's like you can be, different degrees of unconsciousness, or, just like degrees of being evil. Right. Okay. But at the same time, this flow state, as you described, it's still, we are identified with our experience somehow. We are not conscious of being.
I never thought about that as still being somewhat asleep.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's the attention goes in the fourth way. They have this trick that one can play right away. And also the fourth way was more like not just meditation removed from life, mm-hmm. which is useful to have a little time as we are going to have now, mm-hmm. hopefully, where we are not participating in life and we have time to just drop in and be aware. But usually life happens, there's a lot of life activity and all that. So it's good to find a way to be more conscious in life. So the trick was this called divided attention. Divided attention. Like, let's say even now, or we can all try. I say the attention is on the sound of my voice or on the image of my body or anything. So usually attention that goes all the way there. That's good. I mean, I'm not thinking about mother-in-law or not thinking about paying bills. That's already good. So it's like no thinking. So try now to not be 100% of your attention towards me, but to have like a arrow, like a archery arrow with two arrowheads, one towards what I'm paying attention and one towards myself. That you can try this. That was like that was when I was 17 or 18. That was what I was the technique, man. I was doing that.
Yeah, I could see that. And it makes me think a bit of open focus, but open focus, I'm usually more focusing on everything, but I don't bring it so much back to myself as well. And
yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
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 Now, when I was doing this as 18, I didn't quite understand. That also has degrees. You can say, okay, so I'm aware of, or you're aware of the object, aware of. Also, you can try to look at some rugs or paintings and hear the sounds, yeah. But part of the attention to come back to oneself, you can look at it. What was like? What is this oneself anyway? So be aware of myself as I'm aware of Tracy, or I'm aware of the colors and aware of myself. In order to make it practical and not too philosophical, because if it's too philosophical, we're going to drop it right away. You know? Okay, so maybe to be aware of, even, you know, you can be aware of the nose a little bit, your own nose a little bit, part of the attention, you're aware of the nose a little bit and aware of these things. So you're not completely lost in me. So you're aware of your head. So you can be aware of your breathing.
Yeah, I was just noticing like sensations in my body while I'm listening to you and listening to the sounds around me.
Right. So instead of being identified with something, now the awareness is aware of the outer world. You don't have to be aware of everything, you know. It's not like you're not a ninja. It's so sounds, the whatever who is talking, but then aware of a breath, aware of your inner feelings. Sometimes they may be, oh man, this is bullshit. I don't like this. Okay, so aware of this thought. Yeah, this is some level.
Yeah, I appreciate that a lot because I never, like, sometimes when I just am practicing just being present, I don't take it that next step. My attention will get so absorbed in being present. And that's really, really helpful to go that next level.
Yeah, this divided attention was in the fourth way. The student of this guy Gurdjieff, he was trying to understand this concept of presence or self-remember very much, and then he came up with this, man, it seems like the way to access that presence or self-remembering is not to lose myself all the time. The idea we lose ourselves in thoughts, or we lose ourselves in perceptions, or so how can I be present to what's here but maintain a sense of self-awareness? And so what I told you, to be aware of the breathing, to be aware of the sensations in the body, these are also objects. And this is now beyond the scope of our first meeting here. But the idea is to, let's say you are listen to Mihai and aware of your own presence. That will be like the way to go. To be aware of your own presence and aware of the inner sensation or of my nose is more like a stepping stone. Presence is all like the state of being, or easiness in Zen, or some traditions they call it to be aware of the sense of easiness, the sense of being, the sense of I am. All of these are words: easiness, I am, presence. They are concepts, but they refer to something which is invisible and formless. That's the tricky part, because if I try to find presence, okay, where's presence? Or to be aware of awareness, okay, it becomes a mind fuckery very quickly. Why? Because, so presence or awareness. Yeah, it's good to have some terms here, because we are going to use some terms. It's good to be like Babylon, to have, we all understand the same thing by certain terms. So the term in this modality, and I didn't invent this, the term consciousness or awareness or presence, they are all synonymous, completely synonymous. So completely synonymous. Now we can bring more religious, mystical terms like the self with a capital S, or in the Hindu non-duality, they call the Atman, or what else they say this, the self, the Atman, consciousness, presence, awareness, the witnessing, the witness. Okay, all of these refer to the same thing. And I like my Francis was one of my teachers. The definition of consciousness or presence is that whatever it is, so it's that whatever it is which is real and is hearing these words right now. So consciousness or presence is that whatever it is which is hearing these words right now, or is, if you are, if you notice some sensations in your belly or the sole of your feet, if you notice those sensations, awareness or presence is that which is aware of those sensations. So awareness or presence is that through which we are noticing anything, Anyway, so I'm getting to theoretically clear. At the same time, it's important, yeah? So actually the meditation that we are trying to do is in the process of meditation. Meditation is like artificial laboratory. So it's an artificial laboratory where we temporarily suspend intention. Okay, I don't have to think about my vacation. I don't have to think about anything. Now I'm just here aware. Yeah. And even if we decide that, still there's a momentum of like thoughts, feelings. So by having this artificial laboratory, basically, and we are simply, I will guide you through it. But what will happen is that the mind gets a little bit slower and more quiet. And then actually there are more chances to taste this perfume of our own consciousness. And the perfume is that there is a sense of okayness and a sense of peace. And yeah. All right, let's try. Whenever you hear the bell, take it as a reminder in case you are daydreaming. Whenever you catch yourself in daydreaming, that's normal, it's okay. Come back to the here and now. And yeah. And it helps to have the body comfortable. Feel free to change positions. At the beginning, for most of us, it's too much agitation, and so the mind is busy, and somehow it's hard to transition from agitation and lots of thoughts to quiet presence. So we need some, like the mind, the dog needs a bone, a useful bone to focus on. So we need something to focus on. We can use the breath. You can start with a few minutes of gently becoming aware of the body breathing. Allowing the breath to go all the way into the lungs, into the belly. And simply following with attention the movement of the air, the rise and fall of the belly, sensation of the diaphragm, without trying to change the breathing in any way. And keep the attention somehow with each inhalation, each exhalation, and there's a little interval between inhalation and exhalation. The mind will offer thoughts, images, images, thoughts, commentary, like baits. Simply notice these thoughts or images, notice them, don't get involved with them, and come back to being aware of the body breathing. Allowing your jaw to relax, the facial muscles to relax, the eyeballs, the eyelids. It's normal if you inadvertently be taken somewhere. As soon as you notice you lost the present, you can right away come back to the here and now, come back to breathing. And simply allowing ourselves to be resting in the now. Using the breathing as an anchor into the present. As many times you catch yourself that you've been drifting away, unhook from that line of thought and come back to being present to the breathing. The idea here is not to fight thoughts or prevent them from arising. It's not possible, actually. It's natural. Thoughts arising is natural. If we try to stop them from arising or fight them, actually we are creating a lot of more problems for ourselves. The idea is to just gently notice as thoughts bubble up as a voice or an image. Notice it and not get hooked into it, developing a story. See the thought like bird passing through the sky. If we don't hook into it, that thought formation dissipates. And we remain as this awareness, watching. As thought follows thought, we don't cling to any of them. Now, as the mind gets more quiet, then take your attention off the breathing, this one pointedness of attention or focusing on the breathing is, I recommend only at the beginning of the meditation for 5-10 minutes maximum. Helps to transition. As the mind gets more quiet, you can open the attention and notice the inner space. The space in which the breathing sensation were happening. Space in which sensations in the belly, in the chest appear. Space in which even thoughts, they appear into this space. Noticing this inner spaciousness by relaxing the focus and its global alertness. Notice now the experience of the world that appears to us as sound waves. Being aware of hearing without the need to, we don't need thoughts or narrative to hear. Sounds from this room, from outside, sound the body makes. Using this hearing as another portal into the present. Whenever, whenever you catch yourself in daydreaming or thinking about the stuff for some time, which is natural, drop that. That's the point. Thinking all day, every day, in our life. Unstick, come back to the present here and now, hearing, sensing, just being aware. Now bring your awareness towards the inner body, noticing sensations. Notice first the sensations of the contact area between the body and the couch or chair. Sit bones, the back, sole of the feet. Notice the contact between the hands and the thighs. Notice any other functional sensations, contact with the clothes or anything in the head or anything. Noticing without analyzing or trying to change anything. Tune also into the area of the belly, the chest, the solar plexus, the throat. That's where we have our so-called emotions, actually. They are not in the head. They are in the frontal line. So welcome completely. Allow, welcome, whatever you have in the belly, chest. Without labeling it in any way, we don't need any psychology or words. Notice what is actually here. Some knot, some current of some tightness, some movement, some numbness, or some clear peace, heaviness. Whatever you notice in the inner body, let go resisting it and welcoming these energies completely. Without trying to analyze them or change them or get rid of them. Allowing our emotions to come out of the woodwork of busyness. So if so far I took you a little bit sector by sector, so you become more aware of your direct experience. So I took you, notice the breathing, notice thoughts, notice hearing and sounds, noticing sensation and emotions. These are the 3 realms of perception. The thoughts and images coming and going, sensations and emotions coming and going, and sounds coming and going. 3 realms, the body, the mind, and the world. So now, if you can simply notice them freestyle. Sound here, sensation here, thought. Being globally present to the flow of data. without trying to change or escape in the past or future. So don't try too hard, don't try to make any special effort. This is much more like you are sitting on the beach, watching the waves, not trying to attain anything or transcend anything, not trying to get rid of any feeling. If you have any unpleasantness in your body, try to welcome it completely. Just be the witness of it. Remember to include your body into this awareness and not just thoughts. Being present, witnessing this ever-changing phenomena, witnessing with benevolent indifference. Means it can stay, it can go. Don't need to change any state. And one last piece, just as to be mentioned here, is that they say we only have the present moment. They say, just the present, everything else is not real. Yeah, it's the present. Another way is that we only have our immediate direct experience of the present moment. This meditation is being present to our direct experience. And our direct experience is comprised of two aspects, actually. It's the changing aspect, the phenomenal aspect. Thoughts come and pop in and pop out. Feelings come and go slower. Sounds come and go. Images come and go. It's the ephemeral changing aspect. There's another aspect, it's called the noumenal, which is that whatever it is which is aware of thoughts and feelings. We call this so-called presence of awareness, that which is hearing, sensing, watching. So for the last couple of minutes, tune into the sense of being aware, not as an effort, but it's just our true nature. Is something is hearing this. Being aware of not just phenomena, but being aware that we are. Notice this aware silence. Each time you catch yourself in daydreaming, bring yourself back to the present and simply consciously knowing, knowing, surfing. There's something that doesn't come and go. Something that is just silently, without needing thoughts, just perceiving. In perceiving while we were in the mother's belly, it's perceiving the first taste of ice cream, ever reliable, doesn't come and go. It's never been scratched. This presence has never been scratched by any trauma or stained by any belief. Say, what is real? What is real? Philosophers for centuries, what is real? There was this guy, I think Parmenides or Spinoza or both. What is real is that which doesn't come and go, that which is always here, that which cannot not exist. Like our thoughts all our life, they changed, they came and left. All our feelings came and left. Our opinions and tastes in clothes and music came and changed and left. But this open, empty, aware presence is still here. Even when we are asleep to it. And gradually, we can also get used to the idea of opening the eyelids, which doesn't need to change much. It's just that there's a new data coming in, visuals. And awareness is perceiving through the eyes. So you can gradually allow your eyes to open, just a tiny bit, allow colors and shapes without focusing. We don't need thinking in order to see. So we don't, this divided attention as we talked before. You can see colors or painting or face of someone else. You can still, part of your attention is with yourself. Aware of the object while being aware of being.